Oh.
Wow. Public speaking. Had no idea what I was getting myself into. When I sat down with my advisor before school started and we were going through my schedule and he was trying to figure out what classes I was going to take for my program, he simply asked me one question that's really the only question I kind of heard in there, and he was like, would you rather take a class where you're writing all day or where you're talking all day? And I said, give me the talking class. I'm not a writer. I'd rather talk, and I'm a good talker. I didn't know that this is what I was getting myself into. When I walked in here, I was overwhelmed, just beyond everything that I ever knew. Like, I mean, I didn't know what to do my first day when I walked in here. I wanted to quit, I wanted to give up, but then after the first week went by, I was like, well, I might as well stick around for another week, and then the next week went by, and I was still like, well, I don't want this class, but then it's like, well, I need the credits now, so I might as well stick it out, but of course, as all you knew, I still complained just about every day about everything we had to do outside the class. Eventually, over the course of time, for some odd, strange reason, I found myself liking the class. I don't know if it was Mr. Venditti's weird, captivating ways of getting me to like what was going on in here, or if it was the warm hearts and the good people in the class, but whatever it was, I decided to stay. And as I stand in front of you today, I can honestly say I'm glad I did. So 3 things that I'm going to share is actually not in my outline. I used 3 different things in my outline, but the 3 things that I'm going to share out of my portfolio are going to be my 10 periodic thoughts, because those were kind of, you know, yeah, not really. I kind of dumbed them down for you guys because, you know, it's class respectable. What I've read that made me a better person, and some humor shared through me and my little sister and my mom. My 10 periodic thoughts, one was simply, what did I get myself into? Like I said, I was totally overwhelmed. I didn't know if I was going to be able to stick this out or not, especially when we got the syllabus and I started reading over it like, oh, well, I got to do some writing and some typing in this class too. I guess it's not all talking. I was really like, okay, now, what am I going to do now? The second thought was, this dude is weird. I did. I honestly thought he was weird. And I've explained that. I thought he was kind of weird to me. And, you know, over the course of time, I've learned that he's not weird. He's just an exceptional person, and he's very intelligent, and he just can explain some things some ways that I will probably never be able to understand. So it doesn't make him weird, it just makes him extremely smart. The third one was, why am I still here? Like I said, I didn't know, but like I said, I thought about it, and it was like, okay, I need the credits. I can't afford to not take the class and not, you know, I don't want to go on academic probation. I don't want to go through none of that, so I stayed. And then it was, well, I stayed this long, might as well stick it out. And that's what I did. And I'm here today giving speech 7, which I didn't even think I'd make it this far, so I stuck it out. Next one was, this class is way too much, and that was due to all the stuff that we had to do outside the class. I just felt like I didn't understand it. If he wasn't going to actually be there, you know, why did we have to do it? But, you know, when you're videotaping everything, I guess he is there because you can watch it. Sixth one was, why do we have to do so much outside of class? And I think you guys all know how I felt about that. And the 7th one was, okay, so maybe I'm starting to like this class. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And then the 8th one was, okay, so I do like this class. A lot. Unfortunately, no matter how mad I am, I can come to this class and I always seem to get a smile. There's so much personality in the room, and I mean, in the beginning of the class there was always conflict, you know, and it was just like, it was always entertaining to come to this class, so I liked to come to this class. It was like, I always went home and told a story. Like, my uncle and the guys would be like, I go to my uncle's house, he'd be like, what happened in class today? Like, oh, nothing happened today. They'd be expecting it, because this class is just funny to me. 9 was, I'm glad I decided to stay, and 10 was, too bad it's about to be over. And what I've read that made me a better person, I actually was in the library in the beginning of the quarter, and I found a book that I probably would have never read, but then when it came time to do the the live speeches, you guys know I did mine on Black History speakers, and it was the African American National Biography book, which in reference, it just has a list of a lot of different African Americans, where they were born, what they did, their parents' names, if that's listed, you know, the life that they lived while they were alive, and that's what I've read. It had a lot of people in there. It had people still living. It had Tupac was in there. Snoop Dogg is in there. I mean, you can find it in the library, and the school has it. Let me see. Barbara Ann Sizemore was born December 17th, 1927, and died July 24th, 2004. She was an educator, and was born Barbara Ann LaFoon in Chicago, and the only child of Sylvester Walter LaFoon and Della Alexander LaFoon. Clara Smith was born 1894 and died February 2nd, 1935. She was a blues singer and was born in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Nothing is known of her parents, including their names or her childhood. Snoop Doggy Dogg. Born October 20th, 1971, rapper, actor, and record producer, was born Cordovar Calvin Cordovar, Brodus Jr., whatever, his name is kind of weird, in Long Beach, California, to unwed parents Vernell Verando, and a singer and a postal worker, and Beverly Tate, whose occupation was unknown. And like I said, this is just a book that kind of goes through a lot of different African Americans, people that I had no idea even existed. Kind of gives you a different insight, a background on them and what their lives were and how they lived their lives. So I felt that to be very helpful and inspirational towards me being, you know, considered an African American young male. Some humor that I experienced was actually from my little sister, and this is a true story. So growing up, I was the only child, like, living in my mom's household. My dad had other kids, but I never really got a chance to meet my brother, which is 2 years younger than me. So, like, growing up, I was the only child, and until I was like 14, my mom decided that she wanted to get pregnant, and she had my first little sister. And then when I was 15, she had another little girl, and when I was 18, she had another little girl. So in the course of me being 14 to 18, she had 3 more children. And when they were about